If you make crafting videos or anything like that, you'll probably want an overhead camera, especially if you're doing live workshops and sessions like that. So I'm going to show you how to do that using Shoot as your camera. So let's start by switching to the overhead camera. So here we are, and let's put me in a circle up here so you can still see me. Hello. Right, so here's some origami paper. I'm going to show you how to make a crane. So let's pick some paper that contrasts well with our thing. Let's do that. Okay. So we've got some origami paper. So how do we start? So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to just enter drawing mode and Shoot, and I'm also going to just straighten that up a little bit. Okay, that's straight. I've turned on drawing mode. So the first thing we need to do is put a diagonal line down the middle of there, and then we're also going to have one here, but so this one's going to go like up and this one's going to go like down. I will show you what that means now, so we'll turn it over, we'll hold that in. Now you really want to get that corner as sharp as you possibly can, so we'll just do that and just try and get all of these corners nice and sharp. Shall we have a little bit more light? Yeah. Let's have a little bit more light. This is very sort of blue-green, isn't it? I'm just going to use the manual controls to sort of get this a little bit more stable so that it's not reacting to my hands quite so much. So this should be, and we can even adjust the white balance a little bit to sort of, this kind of looks funny, doesn't it? Okay, so here's our piece of paper. I think I just generally want to pull the EV down. So we've got that locked. Yeah, that looks good, right? So we do that first fold. Sorry for that, but this is Shoot, so you do get manual controls, so you can just like perfect that image. So we've got this one's up, so the other one we want it to be the other way around. So let's just do that. And Shoot is actually connected wirelessly to Ecamm Live using Air Server, so I don't have any wire hanging down like from the phone. So if there was something plugged into the phone, it could very easily get into the shot. So this is just nice. The phone's just on the stand, which I will show you. Here's a cutaway to another bit of footage where I showed what that looks like. This is just literally taped onto this this arm, which has a heavy base. I'll show you the heavy base. So behind the scenes is rarely pretty, but I just wanted to show you what's actually going on here. And I have some light here, and I have another orange light on the other side, just to try and give it a bit of, make it feel nice. And yeah, here we are. So the next step is we're going to go like that, and we're just going to fold both sides in, right, in the same way. So we'll take this like this, and just fold that, and it's just that the more precise, the more accurate you can make these folds at the start, the better your crane is going to look when we're finished. So you just want to, like, you know, if that's not perfectly in the center, in fact mine isn't quite in the center, is it? Because I'm feeling the pressure. So like that. You can use your fingernail. I don't use the fingernail so much because it tends to sort of scrape off the pattern. So I would just use your finger. You can actually, I've got a like a bone thing that you can use to make these edges sharp, but yeah, you don't really need that. Now, there is a center line here, and this is going to be a very important center line because everything we fold is going to go into this center line. And just note that, so this is the bottom, this is the underside, so it's got to be this way up. So everything's going to go into this center line. If you have it the wrong way up, it's all going to go horribly wrong. So don't do that. So we need to fold this. So there's a line. So there's the center line there, and then there's a line like that and a line like that we need. So exactly halfway in, just come like that. And that was just me using the Shoot feature that lets you draw a little line. And I hope that's helpful. I know it's not the most accurate because I'm still drawing it on the little screen, but I haven't had to set up any weird extra like browser things or anything like that. I was just able to just do it quickly on the screen, see exactly, like line it up exactly with what I was doing, and just not worry about it too much. So that we're on our last fold into the center now, and I try to, like, the way I pull this paper, I pull it from here and I sort of anchor it with my other hand, and then I'm just pulling it up and then make the fold. So I don't make the fold, before that. So now we've got that. So now the next thing is to actually unfold that again, and we're going to make a score along here, like a hard line. Now I don't always do this, but it does make it slightly easier. So you just pull it down to you can sort of see where that comes down to by how far those come on the other side. It's quite good doing these overhead ones with a phone's camera, just because the depth of field is not too sort of punishing, so you don't end up with things out of focus the whole time. And sometimes if you're doing something like this, it's just easier, isn't it? Like you just don't want to constantly be worrying about focus while you're trying to show how to make a crane. You can go both ways on this if you want. I'm sort of overdoing it a little bit just for the demo, but so the next thing we've got to do, you see this, we're basically going to take this and this thing here, we're going to just turn this whole thing like inside out, essentially. Now you just double tap on the screen to clear those drawings as you do them, and so it's very easy to do that. So you see that I took that, I opened it, I paid attention to this crease here because that's going to get like creased in the opposite direction, and I paid attention to this crease here. Now I actually made this camera app that I'm using on the phone. It's called Shoot Clean Camera Feed. It just lets you plug your phone into your computer and use it as a camera. So I could be streaming this live, and it would be I'm recording this with Ecamm, so this could be live, but it's not in this case. With all of these folds, you see how we've got that perfect. It's nearly perfect anyway. Perfect little sort of corner at the top. And we're just going to do that again. So I'll just show you that again. So we just take that. We open it out. Now we're trying to follow this line as much as possible. Like get that really crisp first, and then this line here needs to be really crisp. And that's the one that's getting inverted. The other one is going with the grain it's already got. And you can sort of push that open, get this line really sharp, and just... There we go. Just looking at my own face there on the camera. Unnecessary. Is this 100% straight? It's not quite straight, is it? How about that? I'm just going to straighten that up, just because I want this to be as relaxing as possible. So now we've got this same thing again. Now we have this. There's a name for this, a basic crane, I think. I don't know what it's called, but you don't need to know the theory. So now we've got to do another one. We've got to do another line like that. Now I will admit that sometimes with the swiping on the phone, it can cause some interesting effects depending on when you're drawing. So try and keep your drawing sort of towards the middle of the screen, or you may end up just like switching apps. Another tip is if you're worried about it moving, there's actually a pause button here. So we can pause the footage, and now that's frozen, and I can safely draw on it like that without any worry. So you see and then unpause it again when I'm finished. Okay. So that's another useful thing if you just want to demonstrate something without having to worry about it moving. There's a pause button. Now these are actually all well, let's get this fold done. So let's start these folds. So you see this fold? So the way I take this, I'm trying to keep this line as straight as possible. So I actually sort of peel it up around like that. I'm pushing this in to try and get a crease to form here with my nail. And I'm just going to try and very carefully and straight get this as straight as possible, like that. And if you really want to get this right, you're actually going to leave a very, 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 very slight gap here, because that's going to make it easier to do the next fold. But we can worry about that later. what was I saying? This is about shoot clean camera feed. So this is, you can go to clean.camera to get this app, and it's really, I talked to someone that was doing paper crafts. I talked to someone that was doing woodwork, and I had to think about using my app to live stream, or in a classroom, in fact, streaming to Apple TV. Again, over AirPlay, wirelessly, they were sending it to the TV. And I thought, hey, wouldn't it be good to add some features that let people demonstrate things like this really easily? So you see we've got that in the middle now, and we're just going to do the same on the other side. So we'll just take that like that. We will... Now, if you see me looking up, that's actually, I'm looking at my monitor just to see that this all looks right. I'm slightly worried about some peaking. And the thing about whenever I could have just said, hey, look, you can draw on the footage. Wow, amazing. But I wanted to actually try this with a real demonstration and see what happens, see what arises. And something I am noticing is I would quite like to be able to see if I'm peaking the whites, because sometimes that looks a little bit bright. And my colours, because maybe I could adjust my lights a little bit. I've got 2 lights, one on each side. So I like that blue, but... So maybe I could just move this a bit further away, or maybe it's actually this front light that's causing the, or maybe it's the windows. But hey, I never said I was an expert in lighting, and but I make apps. That's what I do, among other things, as well as cranes, obviously. So here we go. We're just going to do this one last fold. Oh, man. Now here's a pro tip. Whenever you are using Shoot, just put it in well, you have to press focus now in iOS 15. Always come into focus mode. It will actually pop up a little alert saying you that, and I will do another tutorial. You can actually make this happen automatically now with iOS 15. So you can go into settings and you can say, okay, whenever I launch Shoot, go into do not disturb mode. So I will show you that in another video. So subscribe to the channel, join squares.tv, which is where I'm sending emails from, things like that. And you can keep on top of the new updates. And also any questions that you have, put them in the comments. Send me an email, michael@squares.tv, or Michael... Yeah, that's the email to contact me on for this kind of thing. Squares.tv is just a platform where I'm talking to people about how they're approaching their live shows, and their sort of technical rigs behind that, and just getting into the details of what they're set up to look like. All right, we've got this. We're nearly there, aren't we? We're so nearly there. So, what we want to do now, we've got this center line here, and we're just going to fold from each side into that center line. Okay? So, pull that across like that. Again, like you see this, there's the papers sort of buckling a little bit here, so you just need to make sure that's going to go in. Like, use your nail in there. Make sure that's where it needs to be, and just make sure you don't get any buckling and mess there. And we're just going to basically turn this thing inside out and just try and keep that as crisp and neat as possible. Okay. So finally, there is a line here which you can find just by pulling up from here. So this is actually the feet. So it's sort of about there. We're just going to pull up from here, and this is quite an easy fold. You just pull it straight up, and you just let the paper tell you where that central sort of supporting area is. So we do the same on both sides, and this is where we get to see how easy it's going to be to do the final step. So this line, let me pause. So if I just pause that on there, I can show you. So this line here is a very important place, because this is gonna be the head. But so we need to fold this. So you see this? We need to part that on both sides. See? And we need to. The light has just changed again. Right, I am doing this it's a sunny day outside. I do have some blinds, but the light is changing in the room as we go, because, I don't have a photography studio. Not yet. buy my app and I will have a photography studio. Probably wouldn't get a photography studio, but maybe I don't know, get a softbox and just completely black this out. I have got a softbox, but it's a pain. Right, back to the crane. So you see, we were going to open this out, and then we just need this crease to be so crisp that you can't even believe it. It's so crisp. So just take this like this and just fold it out. And in fact, that was pretty effortless. And you know why that's effortless? It's because I left a little bit of a gap there. But if you haven't got the gap, just sort of get your finger in there. Just make sure this paper doesn't buckle here, and that is a tight crease. And the same on the other side. Like the other side, I think I've left myself even more space there. So you just take that. Oh yeah, you see this is sort of fighting here a little bit. This is a bit close. So we can just do this and fold this across. And let me know if you just came for the crane and you never plan on streaming in your life, because I think this is a pretty good crane tutorial as well. Now, we've got this final stage now, and so what we're going to do now, we need to pull out these. So you need to hold, well, it's easy with your hand. Put your thumb on there, grip it really firmly, and then keeping this as straight, just rotate that around. And we're actually sort of distorting the paper a bit here to do this. But you just need to slide. So you see that's sort of, we're actually bending the paper against what it wants to do a little bit, but you just want to pull that down a little bit. Okay, and we do that on the other side as well. We just hold it and we just pull that down. We're just like literally levering it down. And it's what that's doing is actually like it's pulling this. So as it comes down, it's actually pulling that down. Do you see? So there we go. So that's down, and now all there is left to do is, well, let's make a head. So to make the head, you can bodge this, but I just like to sort of fold that down. It kind of looks cool when it's a really small head. We've got a head, and we just, this is the fun part, we can pull these wings down, and then you put your fingers there and there, and put your thumbs on there, and you can just open that out, and then try and get that to be as sort of, there you go, look. And then you've got the feet, you can just pull that open a little bit. You've got the feet, you've got the top, and then that's a perfectly, well, if it doesn't stand up straight away, just, pull this out a bit. Go this like this, bully the paper a little bit if you have to, and just, there you go. And this is where I need one of those lazy Susans to just automatically rotate this, get like a beauty shot. It's going to rotate like that. And then I just need to draw a circle around this for no obvious reason, just because, hey, look, we made a crane. I don't think that helps. This was just supposed to be about the drawing, but I thought, hey, it's sort of quite useful in a number of ways, isn't it? So that's how you use Shoot to create a beautiful overhead tutorial video, live stream demonstration, or a workshop. It could be a paid workshop that, you may have a mailing list. You may make some money with this. Show some people how to do some crafts. Build your mailing list, all that kind of thing. And it's really easy. So Shoot, it doesn't cost much. And now I'll just show you, just to explain how to unlock these features in Shoot. Right, okay. So if I bring the phone up like this, you can see there's literally, I don't have to come around, but it's just this little icon here. So you just tap. So you've got your side icons. This is the camera. This is the microphone. This is the battery saving mode. You've got grid, and then you've got this little squiggly line here, which gives you the ability to draw. So you just draw a circle. It tells you can double tap to clear. So you can just draw a nice smiley face. Right? Helps to have the camera a bit more stable than I've got it, and maybe not with that horrendous reflection on it. So this is actually a premium update within Shoot, and the way those work, you see this little 6 on here. So we've got Shoot Pro. It's a Shoot Pro feature. Here it is in the Shoot Pro description. How Shoot Pro works. So you get a lot in Shoot with the basic version. So you get all your manual controls, you get the ability to switch cameras, all that stuff. But what you don't get is some of these little extras that I've been coming up with as I go. So drawing, the microphone coming in over HDMI, snapshots. And how this works is you unlock all of the available features. So the way you do this is you go try Shoot Pro, and then it's a subscription purchase. And you go, okay, I want premium updates for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And so as I add in these new features, each one of these sort of emerged on a certain date, you'll get all of the features unlocked immediately. You will continue to receive any new features that I create, and I've got lots of things planned while you have an active subscription. Now, if you wanted just to get the drawing thing, you could just pay for an in-app purchase, get the subscription, and then just cancel it immediately, and you'll just still keep that forever. But what you won't get is the new stuff. And then if the price of the subscriptions goes up as I put more and more features in, you won't get to keep that lower sort of starting price. It's a model where I don't want to just make people have to have an active subscription to use certain features, and there wasn't really a good mechanism for doing this premium updates unlock thing without it being a subscription one way or another. And just I will be able to keep working on this is basically the thing. 'Cause it's just me on my own in this room, just building features, making these videos, talking to people about it, finding out what they use. Like I came up with this drawing feature after talking to someone that uses it in the classroom to demonstrate woodworking, and I thought, I think it'd be quite useful if you could sort of draw around something and say, hey, look, it's here, this thing. So I just put it together because it's actually, I don't know if you've seen any tutorials on how to do this without Shoot. It's quite involved. You sort of have to create a green screen thing in a browser, and you're using a mouse, and then you can't quite tell where you're drawing because of the layering and all that kind of thing. This just lets you draw just directly over the video, and it's perfect. So if you want Shoot, you get that in the App Store, or you can just go to clean.camera. Just in a browser, type clean.camera. Camera is a top-level domain like .com, so I've got clean.camera. That's really easy to type into a browser. You can find the app. I've been using Ecamm Live today to demonstrate this, and there are links to everything in the description. So I hope you're having a good day. Take care. Bye.